What's up, Mavletic lovers and listeners, and welcome back to a new season of Maverick Postgame. We've had lots of action and amazing achievements from our winter sports over break, but we are excited to be back and update you on them all. We've got a full show for you today as Mesa men's basketball dominate at the Blizzard in Bronson.
And the women's basketball team comes out on top after a close game.
Plus, softball falls short of one run after an intense game.
And women's wrestling places 6th in their wrestling tournament.
All of that and so much more as we move ahead into this recap-packed episode of Maverick Postgame. So with that being said, I'm your host, Grace Metcalf.
And I'm Maddie Ganender.
Let's get into all the game-breaking stats, off-the-wall wins, heartbreaking losses, and in-depth analysis of our CMU athletics. Roll it!
Hello everyone, once again, I'm Maddie Ganender.
And I'm Grace Metcalf. Let's hop right in and take a look at all the Mavtastic action that took place this week here at CMU. The Colorado Mesa men's basketball team demolished at the Blizzard in Bronson Coca-Cola sponsored game against UCCS. The Mavericks finished their incredible win with a score of 83-63. It was an incredible game to watch, where throughout the game, the Mavs held a strong lead. At the start of the game, Blaze Threat was 4 points shy of 1,000, and the team was determined to let him get it as quickly as possible. Threat got the ball and drove into the paint for layups on each of CMU's first 2 possessions, reaching 1,000 exactly after scoring at 1:13 into the contest. Threat is the 19th player in CMU program history to eclipse the barrier. Jessup scored the next 7 Maverick points as CMU went up 11-5, although UCCS cut it to 12-10 at the under-12 media timeout. That would be a theme for much of the game. The Mavericks would build a seemingly large lead. UCCS would rally to the verge of closing the gap, and then the Mavericks would go on a run again. The Mavericks are 18-4 overall and 13-3 in the RMAC. As a team, the Mavericks shot 56.7% from the field, 62.5% from 3, and 71% from the line. The Mavs had a 34-25 rebounding advantage and had 20 assists against 19 turnovers. UCCS shot 37.5% from the field and had 20 turnovers compared to just 8 assists.
The Colorado Mesa women's basketball team also claimed a victory at the Blizzard in Bronson over UCCS. Monica Brooks, Kylie Cravia, and Olivia Reed co-bound for 52 points to lead them to their overall 64-62 score. The Mavericks led by as many as 14 in the first half, 29-15, and by 13, 47-34, with 4 minutes left in the third quarter. After leading just 32-38 after the half, the Mavs went on a 15-4 run over the first 6 minutes of the third quarter before the Mountain Lions answered with a 10-2 run over their own to cut the gap to just 5 at the end of the period. They then scored 8 of the first 9 points of the fourth quarter to take a 52-50 lead with 6 minutes and 10 seconds left, setting the stage for a classic finish. Kravik would then score the go-ahead bucket with 4 minutes and 37 seconds left to put the Mavs ahead 53-52. They later led at 60-54 and 62-56 after Kravik made 4 straight free throws. UCCS's Mason White then scored but could not convert the one in free throw to close the gap to 62-58. As a team, the Mavericks finished with a 39-29 advantage in total rebounding shooting percentages. We're nearly dead, even with the Mavs finishing with the slightest of 42.0 to 41.4 advantage. Both teams were 28.6% from three-point land, although the Mavericks made 6 tries, the difference in the game.
A late rally fell just 1 run short as the Colorado Mesa University Mavericks softball dropped their final game at the Concordia Kickoff Classic 7-6 to San Francisco State University this past Sunday. The Mavs had early chances in the first 2 innings, but stranded runners at second base while leaving 3 runners on in the first 2 innings as the Gators The designated home team took advantage by banging out 8 of their hits, 2 of which were doubles, while benefiting from 2 Maverick errors to build the 6-0 lead. However, the Mavs started the rally in the 4th as Miranda Pruitt doubled before scoring on a sacrifice bunt and Gator throwing error. Ava Fugate then brought home Aislinn Sharp on a sacrifice fly to cut the game to 6-2 after 3.5 innings. The Mavs then scored 2 more runs in the 5th to close the gap to 7-4 as 1-out singles by Arrieta and Jorson followed by 2 wild pitches and a throwing error led to the Mavs' run. CMU did leave 2 runners on in that inning, but picked up 2 more runs in the 6th as Arrieta doubled Ashley Bradford home with a 2-out double before Jorson traded places with Arrieta to complete the scoring. As a team, the Mavericks, despite having less runs than the Gators, the Lady Mavs had more hits with their 10 to the Gators' 9 and wound up tying in the number of errors.
The Colorado Mesa women's wrestling team placed 6th overall at the Bearcat Open tournament. Top-ranked Marissa Gallegos continued with her undefeated season and claimed the 123-pound weight class where she won 2 matches. Dahlia Garibay went 3-0 and placed 2nd in the 155-pound bracket, forfeiting the final. The Mavs also had 2 third-place finishers in Haley Chapman at 130 pounds and Samantha Vasquez at 170 pounds. Selena Cook at 143 and Jaylene Sakona at 191 placed 4th as the 14 Mavs in action combined for 30 total wins. 13 of the Mavs claimed at least 1 victory.
Now that we have recapped some of the games, it's time to announce our Maverick of the Week. Our Maverick of the Week goes to Blaze Threat. Blaze achieved his 1,000th point of his career early on in the game this past weekend. He is the 19th player in CMU program history to get this achievement. Congratulations, Blaze, for your outstanding performance. You are our Maverick of the Week. We are now at the end of our show, and it is time for our closing statements. My closing thought is on the swim team. This week, they have the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference Championships, and I'm hoping they will bring a 5th RMAC title. There's a lot of talented swimmers, and considering that the women's team ranked 2nd and the men's ranked 4th nationally, there's a good chance they will achieve this title once again.
Hopefully they do. My closing thoughts are on the basketball teams. Both men's and women's have won nearly all of their games, and they have been overall performing well. I'm just curious to see how they will end their season.
I'm curious to see how they, along with many other sports, are starting up their season will end up doing. I'm sure we will have lots to look forward to and to sharing on the show. Now that we have wrapped up all the action from this week and given our closing thoughts, it is time to close the show. Thank you everyone so much for joining us this week on Maverick Postgame. I've been your host, Grace Metcalf.
And I've been Maddie Genender.
Be sure to go check out our channel 62.2 for more games and updates. We'll catch you next week on an all-new recap-packed episode of Maverick Postgame. Stay safe, Mavs, study hard, go to a game or two, and of course, have yourselves a Mesa amazing day.